So I am going to share a little bit about selflessness from the group, the God calls that we're doing, the weekly group calls where we're only focusing on the city. And last week was selflessness and using our own bodies as grounding vessels for selflessness and allowing it to show us that it has landed on the planet, that we absolutely were a vessel. And yeah, it was really these calls are really fun. It's really beautiful to see how these frequencies are being grounded through each of the people on the call. It's really beautiful. As I shared in my personal share, selflessness showed up in relationship and within my own body, because I asked where, if I need selflessness, where in the body do I need it? And it showed me right in my belly, in my sacral chakra, meaning my interactions with others, as well as a little bit of my diet, my eating. I needed less self when I eat. So yeah, message received. But I had interactions with in relationships that showed me where self was still acting from fear-based individuated soul, and that was beautiful. For another person, it showed up, they think they were going to the beach and suddenly they saw a turkey. I think this was in Oregon. Anyway, yeah, turkey. And for those of you, Gene Keys, familiar with Gene Keys, there's animals connected to each one of the cities, and all the birds are connected to the cities. And turkey is selflessness. I mean, thank you, universe. I love all these synchronicities. For another person, selflessness was landed. She was walking with the group of ladies that she walks with. And I believe she said all of a sudden she felt cosmic being, her cosmic being. And that's exactly, I mean, that's exactly basically what I shared in my personal share of feeling this embodiment of selflessness was it's the cosmic being. So what else? And then another person was experiencing the selfishness of others in a particular situation, but we witness selfishness all the time. And this situation was, some people were chatting. It was at a store or someplace, I can't remember, an appointment, and the people were just chatting, while other people are like, my appointment's next and I'm running out of time. It was a selfish behavior. But then this person decided to look at themselves and to see, is this me being selfish? And learning a whole lot of insights about herself and the interaction, and just insights about selfishness and selflessness in general. The whole point, the whole thing that's kind of stirring up or coming up in these calls, what we're learning is that as we're focusing on the acidic frequencies only and doing this little protocol, even the protocol probably isn't necessary, but by focusing on the city, it is actually showing us the shadow without going into the shadow. It is doing it like it's showing the shadow and we're like, oh, okay, I see the shadow, without the shadow becoming us and it being all a dramatic ordeal. So this is a really beautiful way of working on your stuff, but from a higher frequency, so that it doesn't engage all the emotional reactions. So that's what we're learning. So it's been really fun. Selflessness. What in general did we come to agreement on? Definitely, and it's not new insights, you know this, but it's just beautiful how we all talked it out, how it all showed up in our lives beautifully and spontaneously. That selflessness can never be at the detriment of your own well-being. That to go out and selflessness doesn't necessarily mean how can I serve, because that's a real mantra among, well, Gene Keys community, but the whole New Age community is general. I've got to be of service. I've got to be of service. And selflessness does not mean service. And sometimes to be selfless is to be selfish, meaning I have to take care of myself first. Obviously, the cup has to be full before we can give to others. But also, ultimately, I don't know if I'm conveying everything, all the insights that people had, but this is just a brief wrap up. Although nothing's ever very brief because I keep talking and talking. But ultimately, what is selflessness? It means that there's the individual I is not doing the decision making. What do I mean by that? It means that we are making decisions based on our inner truth, our heart, and not based on the mind telling us what we should and shouldn't do. And so that there's no ego involved in the decision-making process. Like you can't intend to be selfless and do selfless service, because that is the ego I making a decision to do something and probably to get something out of it. Selflessness means that you are functioning from your inner truth. And it's like spontaneous living, right? Because whenever there's an intention or a motivation, there's usually a little I attached to it. But every time you make a decision or do something that is resonant with your inner truth, it automatically is in harmony and benefits the whole. And so this doesn't necessarily mean outward service. Your service is inward. The moment you take care of yourself and you follow your inner truth, that is selfless service, because it's not the ego I making the decision. It's the no self, the true self, the pure being working in your life. And it knows best how to serve. And sometimes it says no to someone else. Oh, yes. And I also wanted to show you the Hebrew letters, frequencies based on the soul contract system, and just in general, all of the integration of systems that I've used to create the energies of these numbers. So let me share that. Okay. Share the light behind selflessness. Let's see, where is it? All righty. So selflessness, you see the numbers 7, 11, and 10. So the foundation of selflessness is number 7, and that's a master communication number. It has many, many layers to it. The 7 in general is a highly transformative number. It means something is transforming. And it also relates, to the the law of 7, that in life there is a natural progression, that the 7 understands that there's a natural progression of things that ultimately leads everyone to the path of enlightenment, and that would be a selflessness state of being. But also the 7 here is connected to the ring of origin in Gene Key. So that's prime emanation. So the foundation of selflessness is that we've returned to our origin, prime emanation, or pure being. And in return, that makes us a very attractive magnetic being. We are magnetic to other people. We draw people in, but we're also master communicators with the number 7, that we've integrated. The 7 in Hebrew is the double-edged sword, and it talks about integrating the two yous in you, the one that the world sees, the one inside, the true self, the ego self, integrating that into one being and healing the heart. So selflessness, that's the foundation. The abilities is calf number 11, and that's all about self-realization, awakening, and having the 2 pillars, willpower and faith. So the foundation is 7, the ability is awakening, the success or the outcome is true soul consciousness, number 10. being in alignment with the divine mind and manifesting God out into the world. Okay. So that is the light behind selflessness. Okay, till next time.